Welcome to today's project. Today I have this Asus laptop monitor. I previously stripped it out of the laptop. Reason being, the laptop stopped working so well, I think. But whatever the case, I got a new one. So now I have this monitor. Monitor works great. I want to make it a second monitor for my current laptop. I can't just plug it in. It's got all these old wires coming out of it. So I went on the good old interwebs and found this little board here. It's got your 30-pin connector that goes to the inside of the monitor here, and then it pretty much turns it into a regular monitor. You have all your controls on this panel, you have your inputs here, your HDMI, your DVI, all that. This requires its own power supply, which you plug in there, and then it's got some kind of audio plugs there. So I can't just put this there, right, because there's gonna be nothing to protect it, and I don't want it to look too janky. So we're going to go ahead and make a little box for this first, and then we're going to make it fit on the back of this, and that'll be that. Styrene is this plastic material. FYI, this is my dust-free anti-static environment. I need dimensions. Let's see what we need for a back. I don't know that this is actually cut square to begin with, so I'm going to go off this one edge. Alright, 3/4 of an inch thick, so that'll be my side. So now I got my back, I got my sides. Let's figure out how tall it needs to be now. And again, just like everything else, we'll need a little bit extra probably. Why not? Let's give ourselves some breathing room. So my top and my bottom, I don't want them to be too boring. So I'm going to put a nice little angle on there. So we'll just put a little 45-inch or a little 45-degree angle on there. Now I'm just using this. I know this isn't magnetic. I'm just using this as a guide to help keep it square while I glue it. So this glue just wicks right in there. And pretty much melts the plastics together. Now that I have those glued on, now I need to do my front and my back. You'll see my angle here, it needs to be cut down to match. We'll cut it to fit. Now let's do our sides. There we go, cut straight. Alright, now we got our basic box. Let's cut our holes so we can get those sitting where they're going to need to be. Now remember to give yourself some room for standoffs. Either way, this thing isn't going to be like some perfect thing that you're going to mass produce and sell, so it'll be good. Now before I clean those up, let's make sure it fits. Boy, oh ho. Now that somewhat fits, it's pretty close. Let's make some standoffs. So let's decide where these standoffs need to be first of all. So now let's make some standoffs. Oh, what do you know? I got this here. Is that going to be enough? Absolutely. Your tallest things, it's more than thick enough. So let's cut this up. 3, 4. So there's 8 standoffs for me. Now, what I want to do is I want to make these little X's. One X to mark the spot. And what that does is it makes sure that I get these located roughly over the area I need them. Center them over the area you want and glue them. Alright, so I'll let those dry for a little while. So that's how that's going to go, just like that. So now I need something to mount it to on there, right? So to mount it to that, I'm going to make that simple as well. And now it's going to need some flanges for this to screw to. We'll put some flanges there, to here. Here's another thing you can use to cut it when you're not too concerned about squaring it. There's one. Okay, now those just need to go there, but if you look, that's really wobbly. That's not going to be a very good mount, is it? Figure what, maybe 2 on each one. Now this fits right inside there, so let's glue these right up to that edge. Let's take our triangles, and our triangles will square it up then. And that ought to do for my main box. Now what I want to do is lay this out and drill my holes. There we go. And that is where it needs to sit. Now being that this is just styrene, it's soft enough, I could probably just run my screws in it themselves without even tapping them, but this will be better. I want to do a little bit of finishing work and make it so it looks not like complete shit. So let's trim these edges up, hit it with some sanding and some rattle can spray paint. So I'm going to go with the usual favorite for everything, black. So now while that dries, we got more to do, right? Now while those are drying, this little guy needs a thing too. Is I'm going to heat up the end so I can bend it up. Alright, once you get it heated up, let's see, did it cool too much already? There we go. I need to do that again in this area. And then same thing. Let's get it this time, let's get our standoffs in there first, because we need to be able to hit these buttons. Now we'll make our top panel. We need down approximately that far in on the panel. So to set the height now, all I'm going to do is make a panel for the side. Alright, now for the back side I want to do the same thing. Don't want to get any on the top edge because I'm just gluing it to the bottom. And let's trim our edges. Alright, well that's doing its thing. Let's come back to this and get this put in. And now the base. Now we need to figure out where that's going to go, where these little fingers are. Now this has a nice home. Now I need to get it plugged into this. So this little guy has to go inside here. So unscrew this. We've got wires here. That's I don't know, for something, probably a digitizer or something. I really don't know. But this is the one that's for this. So let's get this out of here, because we're not going to need it anymore. I'm going to have to take that apart. That out of there. I guess let's get this one out of here while we're in here. So I could be wrong, but I think these have to do with the antennas. The antenna in here? Yep. Because that's for your Wi-Fi. So I really don't care about that. Oops! And this one, I think, is for the digitizer, which I don't really care about it, but I want to, you never know, right? So let's see if there's a way we can save that without leaving it dangle for all eternity. Just get that out of there. Let's get that out of there. That's all there is to it. Just tape. And that's your little camera. I'm not going to move him because he doesn't bother me sitting there. Do this the easy way without messing up anything. I don't know what it does. Alright, that's back in there. And I got that mamma jamma out. So now, this little feller needs to plug in here. Let's get him out. Take a close look at your plug. Make sure you got it the same orientation. And plug your new one in. Now, if you notice, I don't have enough room to run this all the way around and stuffs, right? So I'm literally going to run it right through, I think, the back of the monitor. That plugged in. Let's see where that ends up being. That ends up right here with a file, so that it's not rough, too rough to cut our, so it cuts our wires. We don't want it to cut our wires. And that's all we need. The inside's plastic. So this is going to go on the back. So I need this to feed through here first. So luckily she's skinny. There we go. Now that's plugged in. Now let's get this together. So glue, shoe goo to be specific, because shoe goo is almost like rubbery, so it doesn't just pop off under a little bit of agitation, and it likes to stay on there forever. So let's figure out where we want this thing exactly. Get that, we'll tuck that up in that edge so it's nice and hidden, and then we'll put it down. Let's do our little panel here now. Put this cover on, and let's get that screwed down as well. And then that needs to mount off this side. So we'll get a little shoe goo on there. And make sure those screws are off the edge of the panel. And voila. Let's wipe off a little bit of this excess here. So now we just need to let the glue dry. I need to make a mount for it for my table. So I'll be able to screw and mount it here, and then screw and mount it here, and this will support it out in airspace. There we go. So if you look at that, I need a little thing here for it to sit on. I also need a thing here for this to sit on. So let's make some marks. And I'm going to weld it onto here, like so. But first I got to make it fit good, so let's do that real quick.
For free. In just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. And right now, you can try Babbel for free. Babbel starts out
to retirement. We know our community will weather the storm because the most valuable
invasive measures. But remember, we do more than just lockouts. For example, we're the only Liberty gun safe dealer in the area. In fact, we sell delay 0624 or visit shockslocks.com. Shock safe and lock service. All day, all night. When you're locked out, we can get you out.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
All right. Now I need to drill and tap it. So I'm drilling and tapping it for an M3 screw because I got a bunch of those. Alright, now one more thing I'll need to do is drill a couple holes. I'm mounting this kind of to a desk. Dual monitors, look at that, there's the new one. See, I mounted it down to the table here. I'll have to stick something under this laptop just to keep it up. But check it out. We can take this picture and I can put it everywhere. How cool is that? Now, I don't know if it works with a game yet very well. We'll see. It's only 60 hertz. And you can see I got the HDMI plugged in here. Probably wrap this cord up a little bit. And here you can see you got your power, your HDMI, and it runs over. I taped this wire down. And that's pretty much it. Nice. See you next time.